Hello everyone, welcome to the Joking Dolphin Gaming Pod. I'm Mark and as always I'm joined by Matthew.
Morning.
And Nathan.
Hello.
How are we doing?
Excellent, because it's Easter Sunday that we're recording on.
I see what you did there. Very good.
I'm wasted.
Well, you were.
I'm not wasted.
Like,
no, I mean my talents are wasted, but I'm wasted.
No, yeah. No, we know what you mean. We know what you mean.
We know what you
mean.
We know what happened last
rewind to 12 hours ago, roughly, you would have been correct.
Yeah. And I'm just going to say you are a terrible, terrible influence.
When we get presented with gaming-related shots and cocktails, I just can't help myself.
We should explain to the boys and girls listening. So, basically, we went to the Meltdown Gaming Bar last night here in Sheffield. And Nathan just drank the bar dry with cocktails and shots and pulled me alongside with him.
I'm going to say,
he dragged me down with it. Yeah, it was 2-for-1, wasn't it? Yeah. They were nice.
Some were
nice. The flash was quite nice. Kirby was...
The Kirby shots.
All right.
Not sure about that one.
Yeah, in hindsight, I should not have got 8 of those.
No.
I would have enjoyed my Super Nintendo, but I think I ran the strawberry syrup dry pretty quickly out of it, and then everything else was just gin and lemon. It was like,
yeah.
Okay, I've made a mistake.
Just there drinking the bottom of it, like, oh, this is quite nice, and then that runs dry.
Pretty much, that was it. Go through the bottom, and then once we go, oh no.
Enough of our shenanigans last night. Shall we move on to the news?
Let's do it.
Shall we kick off with E3 in it? I think we should probably start there, shouldn't we?
Well, or not.
Or not start.
Not E3, yes. So E3 has officially been cancelled again this year. Possibly forever now.
Well, I think we saw it coming, didn't we?
Yes.
The writing was on the wall.
Yeah, we already knew Sony, Microsoft and Nintendo had all pulled out. And then I think it was Sega and Ubisoft also. And Ubisoft pulling out is a big one. Because, they always have
they're the next big one.
Yeah, they always have their event thing. Ubisoft said this. While we initially intended to have an official E3 presence, we've made the subsequent decision to move in a different direction, and we'll be holding an Ubisoft Forward live event on 12th of June in Los Angeles. We look forward to sharing more details with our players very soon. And I believe that's part of Summer Game Fest.
Yeah.
More than likely. I mean, they're the winners out of all this, aren't they?
To
be honest.
So how all this happens, so basically an email got sent out to the Entertainment Software Association members, or the ESA, said that while E3 remains a beloved event and brand, that the 2023 version simply did not garner the sustained interest necessary to execute it in a way that would showcase the size, strength and impact of our industry. And ESA issued the following public statement from Kyle Marsden-Kish, the Global VP of Gaming at ReedPop, who was the organisation who took over doing the E3. This was a difficult decision because of all the effort we and our partners put towards making this event happen. But we had to do what's right for the industry and what's right for E3. We appreciate and understand that interested companies wouldn't have playable demos ready, and that resourcing challenges made being at E3 this summer an obstacle they couldn't overcome. For those who did commit to E3 2023, we're sorry we couldn't put on the showcase you deserve and that you've come to expect from ReedPop's event experiences. I mean, the thing is, we've talked about E3's demise a number of times now.
Yeah.
But I think this is the clearest one now, is that it's over, isn't it?
Well, that's it. There's no market for it anymore. None of the big companies want to be part of it. And Summer Games Fest has taken its place. And I think that's it now.
Yeah. And it is sad. I've read people kind of mocking it. And I don't see why, because E3 gave us so much of its history.
Well, that's it. I think it ran for nearly a quarter of a century. And that's fantastic for it to stay relevant for all that time.
Yeah. It's like
to give us so much.
Yeah. It's like we can agree that maybe it should have, changed over the years. I mean, that's essentially what Summer Game Fest is for, isn't it? It's Jeff Keighley deciding that he doesn't think E3 is going the way it should be. And so he decided to start doing this. And then obviously more people come on board with it. Because it's a more sort of digital focused thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's the way of the world now. But I don't understand why some people have been laughing at E3. It just doesn't make any sense, because E3 gave us so much over so many years. And anybody who knows anything about E3 has loved something from there. Whether it's like that God of War reveal, when they just went straight into the gameplay for like 10 minutes. And that was amazing. It's just sad. But at least there's something in its place, isn't there? Summer Games Fest.
Well, that's it, yeah.
Because in the end, to us, it probably won't make that much of a difference. Because in the end, we're just watching a digital thing anyway. It's like we're not going to it.
Yeah.
We're not like that, are we?
Because if anything, all this is. I know it's sad that E3's gone, but it's better for us because we get to see more.
Yeah, and it's clearly better for the companies as well.
Yeah,
but it just is sad. You can't say it's not. Do you think they'll even attempt to do another one?
No, I don't think so anymore.
Now you've put the feelers out.
I think they already have been trying to do this one, and it's just not worked.
Well, I think I remember I read something like usually by like the turn of the year, most of the plans are like set in place, and apparently with less than 2 months to go, companies weren't even sure what they had. Like companies were asking each other, "Oh, you're going to E3?" And they were like, "I don't know." It was like, well, that's
says a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? But no, sad but not unexpected.
Yeah.
And now I guess Summer Games Fest will just grow.
Yeah, I think
could be the next E3.
Yeah,
E4.
I think it's pretty much got.
And that's a TV show, TV channel.
E3 Square.
Yeah, E3 Square.
I think on the companies that do want to be part of something bigger are already part of Summer Games Fest, and the individual companies like Sony and Nintendo, they just do their own thing now with their own showcases and events.
It's weird because they are doing stuff around the time when E3 is supposed to be. Because this is Ubisoft that said like they're doing this event on 12th of June, which is when E3 was supposed to be. And who is it? Oh, somebody else announced they were going to do something on. Was it Bethesda? I think they were going to do their Starfield showcase thing around that time as well.
Yeah, I believe so.
So I probably won't make that much difference to us as viewers. But I just think for the game industry as a whole, it meant a lot, didn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I don't think gaming would have become the success it was without E3.
No, because that's the marquee event, isn't it? For everyone to showcase what they've got. But the industry's evolved.
Yeah, that's the thing. But there you go. RIP E3. See what the future holds.
Right, so I just want to give a quick PSA. So recently, God of War Ragnarok had an update, and it's introduced New Game Plus. So if
you jumping on that?
Me personally, not just yet.
Not just yet.
But I've seen some videos of other people, and it's absolutely hilarious because they go into the game with all the power-ups, and they're absolutely destroying the bosses. I think I need to do it just to give me that upper hand, even though I've completed it already. Doesn't
that increase the difficulty of the bosses? I would have thought.
Not from what I've seen.
Oh, really? Okay. That's kind of why
I imagine with New Game Plus, you've got the option to
to
select what difficulty you still want to go through it on.
Yeah, I thought New Game Plus was like, oh, this is ultra hard.
Well, I think you get the option to do ultra hard, but you can still choose your difficulty.
You never get a choice.
The thing is, I never really go into New Game Plus, so I don't know. I always assumed it was just like, this is ultra hard mode, but you've got all your powers.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I would jump on that if that's the case. Slaughter everyone.
That's it. See if you can do the game in 10 hours.
I've already platinumed it, so I don't have anything to prove.
You've already proved everything you need to.
Hey, there might be new trophies since this New Game Plus. You can go for.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
Do you know what would be great?
That's cheap.
Sorry, Mark, but they strip you of your platinum if there's new.
Yeah, they strip you of your platinum. But they did that with Forbidden West, didn't they? Well, once they introduced the New Game Plus, they were like, "Oh, now we've got extra difficulties that have trophies tied to them."
Cheap tactic, if you ask me.
Cheap tactic. Well, I suppose speaking of Ragnarok, something we actually missed out on completely. Not did any predictions for anything. And the BAFTA Game Awards came and went pretty much.
BAFTA Game Awards.
BAFTA. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. The BAFTA Game Awards.
The BAFTA Game Awards. Skyrim all the way.
Everything.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. So, I mean, a little information on it. Prior to that was that God of War Ragnarok.
It's like Joe Pasquale.
You'd think I was the one that was drinking a lot last night. Ragnarok.
We're drinking this morning.
Yeah. So God of War Ragnarok was apparently the most nominated game in BAFTA's history, with 14 total nominations. But it only came away with 6
Only 6
on the night. I
think 6 is a fair number, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't know whether to make you guess what awards it won, or if I just go through
right.
each
I'm
game
gonna
and winner.
I'll go Best Performer. Christopher Judge. I'm going to imagine he won.
Yeah, you got that one right. Best performer in a leading role.
Best music.
Let me look quickly. It did, yes. Music. Came away with music.
Narrative? The narrative one?
No.
Ooh.
Didn't come away with narrative. The game that won that one is called Immortality. So you've got 2 down.
I'm trying to think of the categories.
I'll go through them. So there's animation, evolving game, original property, audio achievement, game design, British game, probably not that one. Artistic achievement, multiplayer, probably not that one. Narrative, performing a supporting role, music,
supporting role.
The EE Game of the Year, technical achievement, family, probably not that one. Debut game.
It's about a father and son.
Exactly, it's all about family.
Oh, yeah. There's the BAFTA Fellowship, so that's to an individual, so obviously not that one. Game Beyond Entertainment, performing a leading role, and best game. So there's 2.
Yeah, EE Game of the Year and Game of the Year. Yeah. I imagine it's one or both. I literally know none of these awards.
I think
EE Game of the Year.
It has won both.
It did win EE Game of the Year. It did not win Best Game of the Year.
Is that Elden Ring?
No.
Is it Stray?
It did not go to
Stray.
Elden Ring. No, it has not gone to Stray either.
What were the other games? Horizon?
No, it didn't go to Horizon.
I don't think Horizon would win it, but that's the only other game I can think of. What else even released? I can't remember. Must be a major game. Or is it not? Oh, is it an indie game?
Is it a Plague Tale?
I'm going to say it is an indie game that won it. It's not Plague's Tale, no.
Ooh.
I wonder if you've actually heard about this game, because I've heard about it and I've been hearing raving reviews of it, but...
Is it Fortnite?
Oh, is it? Oh, what's it called?
No, not Fortnite.
It's not the one with the... It's not Cult of Lamb, is it?
No. Shall I put you out of your misery?
Go on. So,
best game at the BAFTA Game Awards is Vampire Survivors.
I have heard of that. That's a strong one for best game, though.
Yeah. Interesting.
The BAFTA's always been gone against the grain of that.
Yeah, they always seem to pick like the indie darling sort of thing.
Yeah. I think because she's like an underdog here.
Well, we do, don't we? That's British. I'll put you out of misery, so I'll go through the winners in total anyway. So animation went to God of War Ragnarok. Evolving game, Final Fantasy XIV Online. Original property went to Elden Ring. Audio achievement, Ragnarok. Game design, Vampire Survivors. British game went to Roller Drum.
Hey!
One that you
love
like,
that game. That's a really good game.
Artistic achievement went to Tunic.
Yeah.
Multiplayer, surprisingly, Elden Ring.
Excuse me?
Yeah. I mean, there is co-op, so I can see it from that point of view, but I don't know if I'd ever call it a multiplayer game.
Yeah. Put an asterisk on that one.
Yeah. Spoke of narrative went to Immortality. Performer in a supporting role went to Layla Delon Hayes as Agraboda. Is that how you say it?
Agraboda. Yeah.
Again, music, Ragnarok, EE Game of the Year, Ragnarok, technical achievement, Horizon Forbidden West, finally getting some recognition. So barely see it win any kind of awards.
No, it just gets swamped by other things, doesn't it?
Yeah. So family went to Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Debut game, Tunic. BAFTA Fellowship went to Suhei Yoshida, the former Sony boss, I believe that is. Game Beyond Entertainment, Endling Extinction is Forever.
I think that's the one with the wolf, isn't it? The cub. The wolf is escorting the baby cub around, I think. That's what that one is. Like animation.
Okay.
I think.
Maybe it was. I feel like I might just quickly search it. Yep, so we've got performing leading role. We've got Christopher Judge as Kratos, and then best game, Vampire Survivors.
I think it's a fox.
Fox, it might be a fox, yeah. I think it was a dog type thing.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Something with four
yeah.
legs.
Yeah.
So it's a fox leading little cubs, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it.
I thought you were talking about that. You know that the black and white
Blanc.
one that's got
Blanc.
Is it out yet?
I don't
I
think so.
don't think so, but
Don't quote me on that, though.
yep, that was all the winners of this year's BAFTA Games Awards.
Intriguing, especially that game of the year. Might have to check that out.
Might have to.
Do you want good news?
We always like
More good news. Okay.
Nintendo. They've updated their policy recently on their website in regards to the long-standing issue of Joy-Con drift. They have said, Nintendo takes great pride in creating high-quality and durable products, and it is continuously making improvements to them. Therefore, and until further notice, Nintendo offers to consumers who purchase the respective products in the EEA, UK and Switzerland that repairs and responsiveness syndrome, I love that's the term, responsiveness syndrome, relating to control sticks will be conducted at no charge by official Nintendo repair centres. This applies even if the syndrome is caused by wear and tear, and even if the 24-month manufacturer's warranty provided by Nintendo has expired. The manufacturer's warranty does not affect any statutory rights, which you may have under consumer protection legislation as the purchaser of goods. The benefits described here are in addition to those rights. So send those broken ones back, boys.
That's it.
They're going to fix it.
I've got a couple.
I'm going to say, Matt, you've got about 14 sets of Joy-Cons to send off.
No, just the one set. My current set's still going on. I've still not used my Skyrim Joy-Cons though, but
Why not? Just for sure.
just because my current set still goes.
You just want to keep that.
They're just in case I need to replace.
Yeah. I'm just imagining all the boxes they're going to get now of all these broken Joy-Cons. I've not had any issues yet, though, thankfully, since I've had mine. The other saying that I probably don't put that much wear and tear onto it as much as some other people. Yeah. But no, that's good.
Yeah. The Pro Controller's still going pretty well.
Took the time with it, but it's here now.
Yeah. I was starting to feel like a second-class citizen because they offered it for the Japanese audience, but we had to pay. So
yeah.
But
I think America got it at some point as well, didn't they?
Always little old Europe, that's to wait.
Yeah, we're always last to get things.
But I suppose it's due to market size, isn't it? So there's that.
Sticking with Nintendo, we got some new gameplay footage of a game that I'm very much looking forward to in about a month's time. Don't know about anyone else, probably not mine.
Do you know what? I rarely pre-order games, and I pre-ordered this one. So I get it on the 12th of May. Can he wait?
12th of May is when I get back from my... Actually, no, 13th is when I get back, sorry. I fly on the 12th. So, I'll have
and
to
the
wait.
12th is when my annual leave starts, so... Great. Get a week to play it if I want to.
Get to see what the game is yet.
Guess.
The new Fortnite.
New Fortnite, yeah. Fortnite.
New
Fortnite 2.
No, it's Tears of the Kingdom. Yes.
Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom. So, yeah, recently we got a new 10-minute gameplay look of it. And, well, where do we start, really? I suppose the start of the video, they showed Link off in one of the Sky Islands that they're calling it.
Sorry, Matt, before we get into that, there's one thing that I want to mention, if that's okay. Because before we got into the gameplay, they did announce that development was complete on the game. And I just want to say how refreshing it is for a game to be complete a month before its release.
Yeah.
Without
it should be complete. But,
do you believe that?
Of course I do.
Nah, you got to use that time for bugs and things like it, ain't you?
It's going to be bug free, no issues whatsoever.
I'm going to hold you. I'm going to hold you to
faith
that.
in the world.
We'll see.
Watch first day it's out. You're just getting videos of all the glitches on TikTok and.
It's the next Cyberpunk.
Oh no! Right. Okay. So yeah. So we eventually did get into the video of the gameplay. With Link on horseback on in Hyrule, and we saw. I suppose one of the first bits we saw there was this piece of rock that was falling from one of the islands that we decided to run over to. and we used one of Link's new abilities in the game. It's called Recall, which apparently you use on, well, I believe you can use on any item. I'm not too sure on that one, but on this rock at least, we activated it and it rewinded the rock falling. So we were now going upwards towards the islands. To which point then Link glides his way over with the new paraglider onto the island. So we've got ourselves first look at a new ability there. Then we start, I suppose, fighting a new enemy in there. It's called a Construct.
Yeah.
With his little branch.
branch.
They're returning into the game, so that's tree branch confirmed. So we essentially just beat up this little enemy with the tree branch, and then we started using a new ability with these rocks next to it. It's called Fuse, which you can take sort of a weapon and any sort of material you find in the land and combine them to make a more powerful weapon, which is, I think, probably the most intriguing new ability shown off in this trailer, because you'll be able to do all sorts of different combinations and such. They showed off the tree branch with the rock, which just turns into like a massive mace in effect, and then they showed off, it was like this long log with
it was like a big pitchfork, weren't it? Yeah.
Yeah, you can combine that to make a massive pitchfork, and in effect added length to it, so you can keep enemies from a very far distance and fight them with that. Then I think they did a new another one as well with the shield and this, like, what they call, like a puff mushroom, I think it was something like that. I think it was called. The enemy hit, and then it essentially made like a smoke bomb in effect, so you can like stealth behind the enemy and get him like a critical hit from behind, which seemed interesting. And then I think they were doing stuff with the arrows as well, so you could like combine arrows with these different effects as well. Initially, it combined it with leaf, but didn't really show off what that did, which was a bit disappointing. Wanted to see what they do with the leaf. I imagine it'd be like it turns like a wind arrow or something.
I liked the one that he did do, like combining the eye that you'd got from an enemy, so that it kind of hone in on him. Because I don't know about you, like, but I'm not very good at shooting, so like him, it'd be great for me.
Yeah, these like Keese eyeballs, I think they're from the bats. He also showed off combining it with this like ice juju jelly thing, so he turned it into an ice arrow as well, which is pretty cool. Just really like it, actually. See, it's very interesting in what they're doing. They've almost turned Zelda into like a Minecraft thing, in effect, to be able to combine stuff and make all sorts out of it. Really opens up the combat.
Well, it's good that we're finally getting some use for some of the items that you pick up, because you do pick up a lot as you go through the game.
Yeah, I think I feel like in the original one, Breath of the Wild, most of it was used for like trading and stuff, or like you can use them in food as well, making like different meals and stuff, and potions as well. So to do something like this is pretty cool. I'm sure one thing that's going to annoy a lot of people about this is that they essentially confirmed that there is durability in the weapons again.
Yeah.
Which I know seemed to irk a lot of people playing Breath of the Wild. I was perfectly fine with it. I thought it made you had to like think on the fly with like different weapons and stuff that you need to use. Like think about the durability, how long you can use it for, and different strategies they can use against different enemies and stuff. But I think I'm on the minority in that one. So there was that, and then the next new ability showed off, which was called Ultra Hand, showed Link combining 2 tree logs together. Three of them to make like a little raft and stuff that you could put on the water. And then you had these like little fan things that activate when you hit them. They combined as well and made like a little boat across this small lake. That's gonna be pretty cool, because there's going to be so much creativity with that people are going to come up with. I can already see how like people are going to do this, like skip most of the game to get to like the end boss again, or whatever they used to do in the Breath of the Wild and stuff. So that's going to be pretty cool. I think they showed off as well that like in previous trailers, the vehicles that you saw, like the I suppose little car that you had, the
hovercraft,
hot air balloon, and the hovercraft as well. This was how you essentially create all that kind of stuff. So there's going to be so much that people are going to create. I can't wait. There's going to be like there's going to be ridiculous stuff. I can imagine people creating like Trojan horses or something, putting like cannons on them just to fire and stuff. That's going to be like absolutely cool. And then I think the last ability they showed off was the Ascend. So that seems to be kind of if you're in a building or in a cavern of sorts, and there's a ceiling up above, and so long as like there's something above that, like a piece of land or stuff that you can walk on, you can use this Ascend ability to go straight through and appear towards the top. Don't know if they mentioned that there'll be something they can do the reverse of. Maybe that might be something they'll keep away that you find later in the game, or maybe it is literally just to ascend. That'll be it.
I don't know if they would reverse it, because if you go down, what are you going to do? Go through a map?
Well, they've explained that like the ascend only works if you've got something that you can walk above on.
Yeah.
I don't think it can work in like I can imagine like a dungeon or something, like maybe. I don't know.
I think it's interesting though, because I think it'll promote more exploration. Instead of like climbing up a mountain, you'll look around and see if you can find a cave to get in, to get up to the top.
That's it. Maybe they've got a lot of like cavern systems where like you go so far in, and then once you finish, just descend straight out of it, and it'd be like almost a form of fast travel in a way. So that was cool. So that was pretty much all they showed off. I mean, the game looks amazing again, like as always. Like how much they can get out of the Switch system amazes me. I do wonder how much this is going to play comparing like the original model against the OLED one. Like if it can run well still on the Switch. I don't know. Those will be, I suppose, questions asked in a month's time.
I'm sure it'll be okay, because to be honest, like graphically between Breath of the Wild and this, I don't think there's too much of an improvement. Though Hyrule does look really vast. Do you know when you pan out to it? It does look quite impressive.
Yeah, I did like that. They did show off towards the end where you find the enemy that's also got like a fused weapon, and it would like battered you off the island, and like now you can just skydive back down to Hyrule if you want to, which is cool. I mean, it looks big. It does look massive, and I wonder how much sort of the Sky Islands they'll use and what their purpose is lore-wise. But I suppose we'll find all that on the 12th of May, won't we? So.
Yep. Just over a month ago.
Yep. And then after that wasn't the only thing that they showed off. We got to see a new, I suppose, OLED designed console inspired by Tears of the Kingdom.
It makes me want another one. It looks.
I'm really tempted. I was very tempted to pre-order it, but I'm like, I don't know if I can justify it.
I nearly bought it the other day because the game collection had a promotion on where you got, if you pre-order something, you got like 5 times your points back. So it was 320 quid, but you got 40 quid with the points back. So it works out like 280. So I'm like, do I do it? But then I thought to myself, we'd have 3 Switches in the house and we've only got 2 people. Do we really need that? And then I was like, no. And then went on my day.
That's never stopped you before.
Got
about 10 Wii consoles, haven't you?
No, I've only got 6.
Proves my point. Yeah, so that's the console's actually releasing before the game. I believe it's they gave it April 28th release date. So that's interesting. But it's there if you want it. It does look nice. I think it's probably the nicest special edition OLED that I've seen. Pokemon looks quite nice as well.
Is it not going to be a bundle then with the game?
I believe it's going to be separate. I think certain retailers would probably bundle it together. I can certainly see that. But no. So far, from what I can see, it's separate. So, but there's that. That was the Zelda demonstration. Looks very good. Canny wait.
So EA have shown off their new logo for EA Sports FC, and Well, I've got my own opinions on it.
It's just a logo. Let's be honest, the game's not going to change much.
Well, yeah, it's not going to change.
This is probably the biggest difference there's going to be.
I like the lore that they put behind the triangle, though.
Oh,
Going
yeah.
back to
the
the
love of the
70s
triangle.
with the Dutch style, of the triangle play style.
Well, the total football.
Yeah, that's it. It's what it represents.
Yeah. Whatever. Tenuous, if you ask me.
To be honest, like, the way that the triangle is, they've, like, kind of cut the F off. So it's like, well, CC a bit.
Oh, no, you still see the F. I'm just trying to wonder, like, because it's got, like, the over triangle inside the triangle in there. It's like, oh, this is all about the polygons that we've made for football.
I think it's joined to the Illuminati, personally, but...
Oh, okay, right, well, fair enough. I mean, other than that, they did mention one detail that I remember that they've confirmed about the new Ultimate Team that they're going to be doing for, I suppose, EA Sports FC24. So they mentioned that for the first time in Ultimate Team, you're going to be able to buy female footballers as well for your team.
Are you going to be able to integrate them with the men? So it's
I
one
imagine
team?
it'll work just like
Pro
clubs.
Right.
Got female players there mingling with the males. So I suppose we'll see. Well, they mentioned there's going to be more details as well in July. And I think we've already got a name of some of the leagues that will be part of the game. I mean, obviously the Premier League.
Yeah.
I think La Liga was confirmed. The Champions League is
Bundesliga.
going to be in it. Bundesliga. The MLS. Basically everything I would imagine that is already in FIFA 23, I would have thought. But
It's normally just like Serie A that we don't get the full stuff for. Because they sign deals with other companies, like eFootball.
I'm just going to see what FIFA's going to do.
What, their new one?
Yeah, because I've actually seen...
License with eFootball.
Probably that's it, isn't it? They go along with Konami now.
Konami's not got the money to pay for that, I don't think.
Because do you remember that quote that Infantino came up with, where they were like, "Oh, the next FIFA's
going to be
the
Trump.
best e-games."
Yes.
Yeah, I'm just seeing the quote now, and he mentioned the new FIFA game, the FIFA 25, 26, 27, and so on. So they're skipping 24. They might not have a game this year, which wouldn't surprise me.
This is where the changeover is.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you'd think they'd already have like some form of partnership with someone already to try and start working on it.
Well, it takes time because they're going to have to build something from ground up.
They're going to build it
No, they
in-house.
don't. They just go to
at
eFootball,
FIFA.
don't they?
Exactly. Build
Now
it
it's
from ground
FIFA
up.
eFootball.
Infantino's learning code right now.
Yeah, that's it. It's getting on that JavaScript.
Yep. I wanted to bring out something like Sensible Soccer. Like a top-down thing, and that's going to be the
Oh,
new
could you
FIFA.
imagine?
That would be
That's how they
brilliant.
fight back. Now
Yeah.
it's FIFA sensible.
We go old school. Yeah, so Legendary Entertainment have picked up the rights to Street Fighter.
Oh.
So they will be producing live action film and TV series. All projects will be co-developed and produced with Capcom. And since this initial news came out, they've also come out and announced that a live action film is actually now officially in the works.
Nice.
But it's not going to reach the heights of Raul Julia's scene chewing portrayal of M. Bison, is it? Let's be honest.
I doubt it.
I mean, the last attempt
Gonna miss that.
bombed massively. What was it?
Is it
The Legend of
Chun-Li or something like that? Yeah.
Yeah, I had the actress from Smallville play Chun-Li, and
Which
I've
actress
never
from?
watched it.
Was it the one that played Lois?
No, not Lois.
Lana.
Lana, yeah.
Well, Legendary
I thought it'd be
Entertainment,
good.
pretty good. Pretty good. Legendary Entertainment.
Didn't they do the Mortal Kombat one, the recent one? Was it that legendary?
I don't know. Be interesting.
I mean, if they did,
go for another fighting game.
crossover.
Yeah.
Finally, the Street Fighter Mortal Kombat game we've always wanted.
Yeah. I imagine we won't see that for a few years yet, though.
No, definitely do some good stuff with the IP for sure.
I'm interested about the TV series, but because I couldn't understand the film, but how would a TV series work? Because you just say live action film and TV series.
Well,
I can.
I mean, I suppose there is story beats there if you want to work on it. Like, you could definitely do something on...
Like, follow each character. Do something.
Yeah, like, start with, like, Ryu and Ken, like, their sort of journey, how they kind of learned the... how to... something or another. I forget what the rest of it... Oh, you can follow from the comic beats. You know, there's still like a comic series going on from Udon that they did pretty well with, like, merging stories and stuff and how that worked. So,
I think I'd like an episode per character to build on their backstory, and then have an episode at the end where they all come together.
Yeah, an end game, so to speak.
Yeah.
Well,
Just
they all
one big
get invited to the World Tournament, don't they? So, by Bison.
That's the season 1 finale, and then season 2 is where it all kicks off, literally.
That's the tournament arc. Everyone loves a good tournament arc.
Well, that's what they should have done. They should have done the TV series first, build all the characters up, and then have the film as the big scrap.
Yeah. The SFU, the Street Fighter universe.
Yeah.
I can't wait for the Street Fighter X-Men crossover.
You just want crossovers with everything, don't you?
Hey, everything is becoming a universe, all right? I already told you about the Nintendo verse. So.
In our big universe.
Right, should we start talking about finance and numbers and stuff? We all love numbers.
Finance and numbers. Yes.
Well,
Sounds
particularly
riveting.
Particularly the UK games market.
Yeah.
Okay.
The one that matters.
Yes.
Yeah. So the figures have come in for 2022, according to the trade body UKIE or UKI. Or now you pronounce that, but moving on. So when comparing to the previous year in 2021, apparently there was actually a 5.6% decline. So in 22, apparently we did make £7.05 billion, but that didn't hit anything compared to the 7.47 of last year. Although it is still going to this 17% above pre-pandemic levels, which really I think a pandemic was actually a good thing for the games industry.
Oh yeah.
Well, nobody else had anything better to do.
So I'm actually not surprised it's gone down.
Yeah, I think
it was never going to keep going up like that.
So just looking at other stuff, so compared to 21, the sales of all forms of video game hardware fell 19% to 2.16 billion. Hardware revenue was down year on year 27% to 832 million. The PC hardware fell 14% to 716 million. Game and accessory sales declined 15% by 396 million, and VR hardware was also down 6.6% to 171 million. Just looking at other stuff, software revenues grew 0.4% to 4.57 billion, and mobile game sales also went up 11% to 1.43 billion. Digital PC sales also went up 2.2% to 660 million. There was also a decline when looking at digital game console revenues. That went down 4.7%, while boxed game sales also went down 4.3%. And then also looking at the pre-owned market, that went down 37%.
Bloody neck. I tried my best to prop it up, but...
So, yeah. I mean, it's still not bad. I still imagine game sales is still like the biggest money maker in the entertainment sector. I would imagine. Can't imagine somehow movies or music beat that. But it's kind of been lacking now for probably like the last, 10, 15 years? Like, I think the games industry has really kind of boomed up, hasn't it? So, just one final thing. Which console do you think was the best selling in the UK last year?
Switch.
PS5.
Switch. Yep. It was the Nintendo Switch. Which do you think tops the annual software sales chart?
Dare I say it?
EA?
Yes, EA Sports FC. No. Yes, it was FIFA 23. Obviously. Although there's no values on that. Pretty much just told you what was best. So, yeah, there we go.
Do you think EA Sports FC will reach those heights in their first attempt?
I don't think so. I can see it having a bit of a drop, but maybe 2 years after
Yeah.
It'd probably get back.
Yeah,
Because
I
it
think
needs
they would.
to earn
Yeah,
that
definitely.
brand recognition.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, isn't
Well, I
it?
say, isn't it? So all the kids would be looking for like, where's FIFA?
Yeah.
And you got this like EA
Yes.
Sports.
So
thing,
what's
you'd
this
be like,
knockoff?
What's this rubbish?
Who's on the front cover?
Although
It's
to be
massive.
fair, yeah, I think the front cover could potentially be what sells it. Because if you have like someone like Messi, then kids are gonna be like, yeah, I want that because Messi's on it, or get Rashford on the front cover or something.
The school dinner edition.
Yeah, why not? Continues to annoy those bad people in Parliament.
Let's not get political.
That's why I used my words carefully.
I'd agree. I think whoever's going to head it up in terms of player is going to have a big impact.
Well, that's it. It'd be all a bit advertisement. I imagine you would mark it as, formerly FIFA. So you.
Are they even allowed to say that?
Well,
Yeah, I was going to say you won't be able to say that, would you? But I think that's probably why they put EA
Well, the
Sports in
best-selling
title,
football
haven't they?
game in the world, don't you? You'd use that in the marketing. Has returned as, or is rebranded as this now. Do you know what I mean?
New FIFA, same old
Yeah.
money-making tactics.
Yeah. Same engine, same players,
Oh, what?
same game.
Just use their original name, IFAF. That's it. It's the new IFAF.
Well, yeah, but you have a front cover where you have to hold it in the mirror. Then it spells out FIFA.
That's what you do.
Let's have it on the inside cover.
Second.
Yeah, but it'll be just fine, like in years to come. I just think, like us, we understand it and we know what it is, but your mum going to buy you a game at Christmas, they're not going to know.
Yeah.
I do think kids nowadays are a bit more screwed on what's going on in the industry. But like I said, parents are just going to be like, I want that new FIFA game. And that'll be it.
I got you that football game. Is it football?
eFootball. Oh,
No.
God.
Thanks, Mum.
Oh, no.
Shall we finish off with something quite interesting that's been found? So, almost 20 years after its release, a series of cheat codes has been found in the game Gran Turismo 4. So they were uncovered by Gran Turismo enthusiast Nenkai on Twitter. And in order for them to work, 365 game days have to have passed. So if you're still playing it and you want to know how to do these, here you go. To get 10 million credits, on the GT mode screen, press select, left, right, down, up, left, down, up, right, left, down, L1, R1, select. Oh, I did well there, didn't I? I didn't even get that
You did
wrong.
pretty well.
Yeah. You can pass any license on the license selection screen. So it's select R1, select R1, select L2, L2, R2, R2, L1, select L1, select. I mean, these are like proper old school cheats, these aren't they?
Oh, yeah.
in terms of code inputs. And then you can gold any specific license in the test. So on the license test selection screen, you press select, R1, R2, L2, L2, select, L1, R1, select, R2, L1, select. And then finally to gold any event, on the event course selection screen, you press select, L1, up, select, R1, down, select, L2, select, R2, select. And there you go. So if you want to dabble back into almost 20 years of history and go back on Gran Turismo 4, there you go. You can have all the monies and all the cars you want.
Nice.
Remind me, is Gran Turismo 4 on the PS2?
I believe so. Yes, it is. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
20 years. It's just weird because we've just had 7 released and 20 years ago was the 4th one.
Well, there were always those weird Gran Turismo ones, like Gran Turismo 3 Prologue or whatever it was called, or 5 Prologue.
Well, yeah. No, but when I think 20 years in my head, I'm thinking, oh, that's when the first one came out. It's like, no, it isn't.
It's like when in your mind, when you think back to 30 years ago, you think, oh, that was 70s, but no. That was 90s.
Yeah.
Scary.
Time marches on. I think that's it for the news. Shall we move on to what we're currently playing?
Let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Shall I kick us off?
Yeah, you do the honors,
Yeah,
Mark.
what?
Okay, so on the last pod, I spoke about playing Street Fighter V, and my fighting itch still needed to be scratched, so I moved on to Tekken 7.
Oh, nice.
Now,
Okay.
I've only done the story. So, in the prologue, Heihachi, the gloriously pointy-haired angry dude, and a young, almost Scrappy-Doo-esque Kazuya Mishima are having a skirmish because Hayachi has done a silly little thing like kill his wife and Kazuya's mother. Major candidate for worst dad of the year, I think you'll agree. And even though the little chap tries his hardest, for the umpteenth time in the series, we see Heihachi yeet his son off this cliff. Right?
Ben's getting sick of that.
Yeah, exactly. And then we skip forward in time, and a reporter who has experienced personal loss due to the antics of the Mishima family begins writing an expose on them. And the story is basically told through his eyes. And it seems Kazuya is the head of an organization called G Corporation, and Hayachi has taken back control of the Mishima Zaibatsu. And war is rife between the two. So throughout the story, you get involved in fights that break out between major characters, or against like a series of military personnel from these factions. And in the midst of all this, everyone seems to want to get hold of Jin Kazama for a reason that is never fully explained in this, I don't think. Now, I'm sure if you played all the other games, it probably makes perfect sense. But in isolation, this story made no sense to me whatsoever. But I'm not here for it to make sense. I'm here to bash some heads in, which I did. And it was satisfying, mostly. I did think the game had a mind of its own sometimes. I stopped pressing buttons, and then it would randomly throw like 4 more punches. I don't know what's going off there. I assume it's like a combo thing that I've done by there's a thing called Rage Art, which appears to be some like special move kind of thing, unique to each character. But I had absolutely no idea how that was earned. And then there was something called Power Crushers and Screw Hits. Again, no idea. I'm just here to button mash. It's in the end, it's just a bit of flim-flam nonsense. The plot, I think. In my view, there's not a single likable character in it. I don't think, not in the story anyway. I just thought they were all imbeciles. But now you remember one of my major gripes was the lack of character count.
Yeah, on Street Fighter.
Oh yeah, Street Fighter.
Yeah, on Street Fighter. There's a bigger selection in this. I forgot to take numbers, but there is quite a few more. So I was
instead of 16, if we got 17.
Yeah.
No, there was less than 16. Was it 16? Oh, it might be 16, yeah. But yeah, there's more than that. And but yeah, there are others obviously involved in DLC. Yada yada yada. But despite that character count, I think that must have accounted only about like 6 or 7 that actually appeared in the story. There's very few actually in the story. There's so many not involved.
I remember the number of them, because I think there's like, I think at some point obviously he plays Jin, he plays Kazuma, Hitachi, I think Nina Williams at some point, Yoshimitsu.
No, you don't play as him in it.
Oh, you don't play him as it?
In fact, I don't think he doesn't even make an appearance in the story.
Okay.
Yeah, anyway.
Maybe there's nothing, yeah.
Anyway, there weren't many characters which really surprised me. But I don't know. I don't know too much about Tekken lore. So. But anyway, that's my Tekken. I quite enjoyed it. It was alright. As I say, a bit of fun nonsense, that story. But just kicking heads in was pleasant.
I do enjoy, because I've played it quite a few years ago myself. I do enjoy at the end, it's just like a ridiculous fight in a volcano.
Yeah. Yeah. And then there's
erupting, I think.
Yeah. And then there's the bonus chapter, isn't there?
Yeah, there's the bonus one, because I think you play as Itachi towards the end trying to fight Kazuma. And then at the end, if you don't know, a character from Street Fighter actually crosses over into this, which is Akuma. And you essentially then play as him fighting Devil Kazuma at the end, the bonus chapter. Yeah. Which is absolutely nuts.
Hard. Yeah, and I read that even changing the difficulty doesn't actually change the difficulty on that.
No,
it just stays rock hard.
Because Akuma actually controls like he is like a Street Fighter character. You've still got like the combos that you do in Street Fighter, but just the movement of Tekken. So, yeah, that game's nuts. I do like some of the bonus characters you can get though, like Negan from The Walking Dead's in it.
Yeah. Although that was locked for me, but I did spot him.
Yeah, you have to buy like a complete edition for it.
Yeah, I thought you might. But I played one other thing, and that was The Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yes, this game.
This is that free game on Steam, was it?
Yes,
Yeah.
so as you may or may not know, Sega randomly released this game on April Fool's Day. I mean, initially I thought it was just like a funny trailer that they came out with. And then it turns out it's actually a real game. So, it's a point-and-click visual novel whodunit, basically. So in it, you play a worker on their first day aboard the Mirage Express train, right? And now this train is designed to host special events. And today it is hosting a murder mystery party for Amy Rose's birthday. So a series of characters from Sonic lore come aboard. So you got Tails, Knuckles, Shadow, a bunch of others as well. And your job, jokingly, is primarily to work the microwave and assist the needs of the partygoers. Okay?
Oh.
So you have a brief introduction with the conductor of the train, and then he leaves you in charge and he goes off to drive the train. Every character has been given a role as part of this murder mystery party. And then everything is going swimmingly until something peculiar happens with the train, and then Sonic is found dead!
No.
Tails, as the detective of the piece, sets out to find who is the culprit. And you therefore become the Watson to Tails as Sherlock Holmes. He's even dressed as the part of Sherlock Holmes. So the plot is clearly inspired by, Murder on the Orient Express.
Yeah.
And it sees you and Tails make your way through the train carriages, uncovering clues in the environment. And interesting items you find are placed in an inventory menu for safekeeping until required as a piece of evidence. And you must interrogate the characters you come across in order to confirm or deny their alibis. Right. And this is done by presenting a piece of evidence to the character, and you have to explain your reasoning to them. However, to succeed in this, you have to complete a little platforming minigame. So your character pulls out like a knockoff Game Gear and has to play a Sonic runner game. So where you have to collect a set number of rings whilst avoiding a series of obstacles and traps.
Yeah.
So you just use left and right on the keyboard and space jump. And if you get through it triumphantly with the required number of rings, you successfully use that evidence to move the plot forward. But if you fail, you just retry it. You're not heavily punished for it. Right. But if you are finding these quite difficult, this minigame, there are a couple of assists you can put on. So you can make yourself invincible or get rid of the pitfalls, because sometimes there's gaps.
Oh yeah.
You can get rid of them.
Classic Sonic.
Yeah. With each train carriage you move through, the mystery deepens, and things might not be all as they seem. But I shall say no more. The writing is spot on though. There's a wonderful dose of humour throughout it, and it kept me going through. It's about 3 hours long, which is longer than I thought it. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it would be like a half an hour thing.
Yeah, and it's available on Steam, and it's completely free. And I would highly recommend it. Give it a shot. I really enjoyed it. It was a good laugh.
Right, contender for this year's Game of the Year.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sonic.
Yeah, the murder of Sonic the Hedgehog. But that's what I've currently been playing. So go on, Matt. What you played?
Ooh, myself. So, I've got quite a bit to talk about actually, funnily enough. So I'll try and get through it as swiftly as possible. So I'll start with the Power Wash Simulator again.
Hey,
been continuing that. So I've now gone. Well, I earned enough stars and money to buy the third power wash machine that you can get. So it can go through dirt a bit more easier, and some of the hard to get out stains on the walls and floors that you go through. So the latest thing that I cleaned up was this skate park. It's a pretty decent sized kind of skate park. So it did take me about 20 minutes to get through it. But got through it in the end. Cleaned that up. There was one achievement actually that you can do in it where there's like a football in this ball thing, and the achievement is essentially just to power wash the ball out of the ball. But it took me quite a few tries. It was a bit. Some of the physics were a bit not forgiven for me. Let's say that. I think because I was trying it while like the whole thing was still kind of dirty, and I don't know if that was like having to play on like slowing the ball down. So I was like, right, I'm gonna clean this ball out first, and then I'm gonna try it. And after a couple of attempts, it eventually got through there. So I got that trophy. It does seem like each level has like a specific thing that you have to do to like get like a trophy out of it as well. So I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna focus on trying to go through levels first, and then probably like replaying them once I've got like upgrades and stuff, and like maybe attempt to get those trophies perhaps. But no, I'm still enjoying myself. It's quite nice to just like go to it if I need just like a relaxing half an hour or something, and just clean stuff. So it's quite nice. Maybe have some on background maybe while I'm doing it, just to blow the time away. I do think I'm gonna go through all the levels first, and then go on to like the DLC levels. Like I want to get to do them like the Tomb Raider mansion, and then I want to clean up like Tifa's bar for Final Fantasy. So I'll get there eventually. So there's that one. The next game that I think I've not mentioned on the podcast, but I mentioned that I keep on wanting to bring it up, and I just keep on forgetting about it because it's just something that I play with my friends on PC every so often when I go back to it. But there's this new indie game that's called Play It Up. So you might have heard about it. If you've not heard about it, it's sort of like an indie version of Overcooked, but there's a little bit more to it, and instead of just cooking the meals and stuff. So what you do, you start off with, you pick a layout of a restaurant that you want, and there's like different sort of layouts. So if you can do like small restaurants, or you can work up to like big ones. And you can pick like a starting dish that you want to start cooking first. So you can do like maybe like a salad, you can do like a burger, you can do like fish and chips, that kind of stuff. And that's, obviously the classics. And then you start out, and then when you start off with it, you can change the layout of like how you've got stuff set up. So you can like move, everything's in like a block, so you can move like a counter somewhere else. You can set up hobs where you want, and then you can also set up the tables and chairs that the customers are going to be sat on as well. So you can change it where you can have a full sort of 4-person layout, or you can have it to like maybe you just want 3 people sat at it, or maybe just 2, or even just having just 1 person sat at it. And then you do stuff like that, and then once you start the first day, then you start doing like the individual cooking. So like maybe you need to peel the chips first, or peel the potato first, then cut it into chips, then cook it, put it on a plate, then you like batter the fish and then put that on. And then you have to like serve it as well. You have to do the serving manually as well. So there's quite a bit to it. It's like, I suppose it's a bit more of a intense Overcooked in a little way, because you can
I got more
also got like
Overcooked. That's something.
I mean, it can be.
Overcooked.
It can be to a certain degree, because you've got there's a lot to it.
So are you timed?
Through the different days.
Are you timed like Overcooked?
There isn't a timed. Basically, customers will come in to their tables. They'll have like a set timer for waiting to be initially served, and then once they give what they want, then you've got a timer to like basically make that meal for them and stuff.
Yeah.
And it can be quite different as well for like if you've got 2 people sat at a desk table. One person might want one specific thing, one person might want slightly bearing on it. It depends as you go through the different days. Once you get to like, you complete the 3rd day, then you get these like, you get a choice of different options. So normally one is like an extra part of the meal. So maybe it's a starter, or maybe it's just an extra ingredient onto the meal. Or you've got another one that could say decrease wait time, but the group size will be reduced or increased. So, different variants and stuff that you go through it. And once you've done like 15 days, once you play the 15th day, you then start to unlock extra stuff for maybe like a different layout for a restaurant, or now you've unlocked a different meal to start cooking and stuff. So you can go through that stuff. And like I've been playing with 2 other friends, and sometimes it goes pretty well, but there's been others where like you've got a booking desk that you can call extra customers into if you want to like speed things up if it's going a bit slow. And sometimes we've just done it as a laugh, just to like make chaos, basically, and try and get stuff done. Because like once you've got customers waiting at all tables, if you've not got like then a waiting table for a customer just to wait at, they'll start lining up outside the restaurant, and they'll start getting like impatient if they're not getting brought in, basically. So it is quite fun. I do enjoy it. It's a nice little alternative to Overcooked. Is
it only on PC?
I think so. I've not taken a look into if it's also on consoles, but I think at the moment it might still be in early access.
No.
So yeah, at the moment it's on Steam, but it's not. I don't think it's too expensive. So if you do want to have a go on it, is there for you. So there's that. Then I'll go on to the games that I've been playing prior to previous podcast. So I've been continuing Yakuza 5. So I think where I left off there was I'd started playing as the new character, Tatsuo Shinada, in the city of Nagoya, or the region maybe. So his whole story is that he's a bit of a disgraced former pro baseball player who was involved in like a scandal 20 years prior. Basically, like he played his like first pro game and then was immediately accused of like reading signs and cheating. So he was essentially thrown out of like the team. Like the manager of the team got like thrown into it as well, and there's all this chaos basically. So now he's like essentially been living like a bum for like the last 20 years, writing articles for like adult magazines and stuff. Like he does interviews with like hosts or hostess, I should say. But then he gets caught up in this in a bit of a mystery involving his town and the supposed mysterious Yakuza family that's running it. This like mysterious guy comes up to him and basically goes, I'll give you 20 million yen to pay off your debts if you find out what happened with this scandal that you were involved in 20 years ago. Because he thinks, well, the player thinks he was innocent. He didn't do anything wrong. But this guy like wants to get to the bottom of it, and you essentially, the whole plot of his story is revolved around this, like trying to figure out what's happened. Meeting like former teammates of his, and like what did they know, what happened, and what's involved with this family that's supposedly like in control of this town. So I've completed all 4 of his chapters. And that now essentially leads him to having to go to Kamurocho as well. So the chapters, I think there's about 4 chapters per character, and then once you get into Kamurocho, there's another 4 chapters where essentially what happens there is Shinada teams up with Akiyama, who's the guy who's looking after Haruka in Sotenbori. They're working out essentially what's going on in Kamurocho that involves Haruka and this like idol concert that's going to happen at the Tokyo Dome. Like they're essentially figuring out what's going on there. Whereas Kiryu and Sajima starts working out what's also going on with this war between the Tojo clan and the Omni Alliance, and both of them get led into each other by this police detective, and like start working that stuff out. And then like the last 2 chapters, I think it's there's loads of chapters. There's so many chapters in this one. I've like lost count on like what they're doing, but like essentially the last 2 is when like all 4 essentially kind of come together and like basically solve what's going on. Like Kiryu and Akiyama essentially fight off all the Omni Alliance that like invade Kamurocho, and they have to like fire them all off basically. Whereas Shinada goes over to the Tokyo Dome to sort of try and stop the assassination of Haruka. And I forget what Sajima's doing. Oh no, Sajima finds out what's happened with Goro Majima, because like throughout the whole thing he's supposedly dead, and you like have to like work out basically why and who's done it and stuff. So as usual, Yakuza stuff happens. And there's twists and turns galore, as there always is in a Yakuza game. So I'm trying to be like as big as possible, because like I really would like people to start going through the series if they're just interested, like, because the story is just like nuts as usual. But I'm enjoying it. I've been enjoying going through the series. So I've finished 5. I do think story-wise 5 might actually be the weakest, because the stories involve real characters. Why they come together, I don't think is as good as like makes sense basically as what it did in 4. So I do think story-wise it is the weakest, but is the first one on the engine that's used by Zero and Kiwami.
Dragon
and no, so there's 2 engines. The Dragon engine starts actually with 6. They made a new engine after 4 for that 5, Zero and Kiwami use, and then 6 starts the Dragon engine, which is what all the games have used since basically. So yeah, I've finished 5. I've now moved on to 6.
Of course you have.
Because, you know, I'm going through them all, as always. I don't know what to say too much about 6. I mean, gameplay-wise, there's definitely a big leap from 5 to 6. Because it is, like, the first game that uses the Dragon engine. So it's the one where you can essentially start going into more buildings. There isn't cutscenes that load up. There isn't cutscenes when you start going into a fight. Graphically, really nice to look at. Definitely a big improvement. I think combat-wise, this is probably one of the weak ones compared to like. It's still better than 3 and 4, but combat-wise, it feels a bit more stiff animation-wise. I don't know why. I think there was complaints that like the combat seems to have like regressed in a sense. Because they've got the whole, this is where they introduce getting the experience points for individual attributes. So now you've got like strength, health, agility, technique, and charm. And you put like skill points into them and stuff. Like you don't get money for fighting. Some fights you do. Most fights it's just about getting experience really. But I do love the ragdoll physics that they've been on. Like, you get, like, whacked by, like, a bench or something, and you go, like, flying about 10 miles back. So, that's quite fun. Story-wise, I'm quite intrigued by it. I want to be big about it, but essentially, Kiryu, for defending Kamurocho in 5, gets essentially done by the police, and they're like, right, you did property damage and blah, blah, blah. You're going to prison now for 4 years. So I was like, oh, great, that's great. So this essentially starts where Kiryu comes back out. He goes back to his orphanage that he started in 3. And some news that he gets by going back essentially leads him back to Kamurocho and essentially trying to figure out what's happened. And like, since he's been in prison, basically the Triad have like come into Kamurocho and started taking over parts of it. So now there's like a war between the Japanese and Chinese going on.
Oh, here we go.
So that's quite interesting. So you get introduced to some of the Triad, and you're basically like, don't really care about you. I'm like trying to figure out what's going on here, and there's potential disdain between Kiryu and the Tojo clan now as well. So there's something going on there, and then you get some news while you're doing that that leads you going over to Hiroshima. There's like a little town that you go into on the docks and stuff that you go now. So I've just gone to chapter 5. Kiryu's started mingling with the local Yakuza. Not by choice, obviously.
Mingling with the local Yakuza.
So, yeah, just working out what's essentially going on there and trying to advance the story, really. So, again, enjoying my time with what's going on. I think I've been more intrigued now that it's solely focused on Kiryu now. So it's gone back to like the single protagonist and like the story around what's going on there. I think I'm picking up a little bit better than I did with 5. So we'll see what goes on there, the more I play and stuff. Trying to think if there's any new stuff that they've added to it as well, minigame wise, because you can play like what's the game? They've got like one of their arcade bike games that you can play in there that they've introduced in this one. You've also got Outrun, obviously classic. Also the UFO catchers, they call them, or we call them like the claw games, I suppose. They're back. They're obviously fun and stuff. So
can't have a Yakuza game without them.
No. Obviously your classic. Boyong, is it as well? Mahjong, sorry. I still don't know how to play that, even though it's in every Yakuza game. So, like, I always try to play it, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I think I'm just gonna stop. So
that one where you got to match the tiles.
I think so. Yeah, you get like a set of tiles that you match, and you can like different combinations and stuff. So, yeah, gonna continue my adventures with Kiryu, as always. One other game that obviously I was looking forward to that I started playing last time. Resident Evil 4 remake.
So go on, how long that took you to complete it?
It took me about...
In one sitting?
25, 30 hours.
Wow, that's not as bad as I thought.
It is the longest Resident Evil game. The original was known as being one of the longest as well. So I would say about the same compared to the original. And I've absolutely loved my time with it, to no surprise to anyone. Loved the story. Loved the little changes they made compared to original. I like how certain characters last a little longer while others maybe not used as much, but they keep more of a mystery to them, which I think is really good. I think everyone did a fantastic job voice actor wise. Because I know unfortunately there's been a bit of a backlash for Ada's voice character.
I did hear about that.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. She does stand out. Like, I will say she's probably like the weakest part of the story, but that's not a slight against her. I do think she does a good job of voicing Ada. It's one of those where it's like you want the original to kind of come back from the 2 remakes just so it keeps continuity. And like no one likes change.
Yeah.
So I think she did a good job. That's just my being. yeah, just loved everything about it. I do think, so I think if I was to compare the original, I think, so there's 3 sections to it. There's the village section, there's the castle section, and then there's the island section. I think from the original, I think the village was probably my favorite, just because of how mysterious it was, you know, the initial intrigue of like the Ganados, what's going on and stuff, and like the action set pieces that are pretty good. I think from the remake, I actually think maybe the castle's my favorite out of this one, because I love how they've like redesigned the castle to be more like gothic horror. And there's a few things that happen in there that I think change up a little bit. So like, there's one set piece where you have to fight this like armored El Gante that you never did in the original, and you have to like shoot it down with cannons and stuff and avoid it throwing debris at you from like. I really enjoyed that part of it. The maze as well. There's a maze section where you have to fight the dogs in there. That's a bit more challenging in this one. That I've enjoyed. And I like the boss fights as well. I think the boss fights are a lot better in this one. Especially changing up in the original you had like, there's an infamous, quick time event cutscene that you have with one of the characters, Krauser, where you have to like hit the buttons quick and you're doing like this knife duel with him in the original. Whereas in this one, they just make it into like a boss fight where you just have to fight him like knife to knife. It's just so much more enjoyable doing it that way. I think they keep the campy humor as well from the original, but kind of modernize it a little bit. Like certain things with the Ashley character, I think, are much improved in this one. Not having to mention that she's got ballistics from the original. I think it's a better touch in 2023. We don't need that kind of, I suppose, commentary anymore. And yeah, just everything. Just absolutely enjoy it. So I did get a B ranking. So,
oh dear.
Not the greatest. Like S is what you want to aim for, but you know, I was taking my time exploring everything really. So yeah, I think at some point I'm going to do the New Game Plus on it. I think I'm going to up the difficulty as well, just to make it a little challenging for myself. So,
what's your views on? Well, I don't even know if you heard about it. The news of the microtransactions that they just introduced. You heard about this?
I did do. So you can buy stuff to essentially power up your equipment sooner.
Released after the game released.
It was. I feel like Capcom's got a bit of a history doing this. I don't know, because it's one of those things. It's like it's there, and you don't have to buy it.
True.
Like it's really summer for Nathan, you know, like one of those. If you're struggling, here's some power ups for you, and then and it will make the game a little bit easier for you. I don't know. It's a bit sneaky doing it after the game's come out.
Yep.
So obviously reviews that have come out can't obviously maybe take a point down or two for their introduction, but they're not intrusive. They're not like in your face. You need to buy them. So,
well, I think that's the key thing. Isn't it? I don't think that should inhibit the game in any way. It's just an option.
No, I think if they were there at the start, I don't think there would be. Obviously, we'd be talking about it as much. They introduced the Mercenaries game mode as well recently. I've not had to go over it yet, but from what I've heard, it's pretty good. So, definitely give that a go at some point. Obviously, there's rumours over added story DLC as well, because the original Resident Evil 4 had added DLC in the form of a Ada campaign, so they're called Separate Ways, and there was like part of the story of like you play through Resident Evil 4 through what Ada was doing throughout the whole thing, basically. And I think people might have picked upon it that like there's two certain monster characters that play as like a right-hand man to Salazar, and you normally in the original you see you fight one of them in a particular way that's actually completely cut in the remake, but you don't find out what actually happens to them. You fight this other one that comes into the sewers after you in the remake, and they're thinking that maybe this cut section will be introduced as part of this extra DLC for Ada. So hopefully they'll do that, and you'll get to play as Ada as well. I imagine they would do. I think it seems quite likely. So definitely more Resident Evil 4 is not a bad thing. And probably my pick for Game of the Year at the moment. But there's so much more to come out this year that's going to be in tension for that. So we'll see.
Very good.
And that's me. That's what I've been playing. So, Nathan?
Yes. So, just to continue the Yakuza hype train for just a bit longer. So, I've mulled it over and I've started playing Yakuza 0. So, that's what I'm going to start with. So, started with 0. Then, obviously, I'm going to move on to Kiwami 2, then the collection, then Yakuza 6. And then I'm going to skip 7 because I've already played it, or Yakuza Like a Dragon. And then I'm going to play Ishin after that. So that's the order.
Well, where's Judgment?
You're not going to do Judgment games?
Yeah. Judgment I'll do after I've done Yakuza.
Okay.
So, because they're separate, so I can do them later.
Alright, speaking 10 years about that.
So, I started playing Yakuza 0. It's, excuse me, there's quite a difference between Yakuza 7 and 0. Not just in gameplay, but in the protagonist, obviously, because we play as Kazuma Kiryu, which in my opinion, I'm probably going to rub some people the wrong way, is the second best protagonist of the Yakuza franchise. He's not as fun as Ichiban.
Okay.
There are some similarities in terms of like their upbringing, because obviously they're both orphans, so there's some parallels there. But Kiryu's just not as fun. He's very stern.
I disagree. I think he's very fun.
To be honest, I'm starting to see some like joy come out of him, but when I first saw him, I was like, blooming heck, he's a bit of a hard ass. So, just to give you a bit of a setting of the game, I know you two obviously know, but so it's set in 1988 in Kamurocho, which is probably where most of the Yakuza games are. And you play as Kazuma Kiryu, and he's part of the Yakuza, the Tojo clan. Mm-hmm. So, when it begins, you're doing a hit, well, not even a hit, you're collecting money for this businessman, in air quotes. And so you rough this person up, you take the money, you give it to this guy in a limo, and then later on that night you find out that the person that you beat up's dead. And that doesn't reflect very kindly on the Yakuza. So, and it turns out that you've been framed, but you've got to try and clear your name. But in doing that, you've got to cut ties with the Yakuza. So you go to the head office, you meet all the lieutenants of the Yakuza clan, the Tojo clan, and they're not happy with you in the slightest. And then you've got to then go to the head of the clan in order for them to kind of release you from the clan. So before that, though, it's the first time that I've experienced the combat because I'm used to Like a Dragon's turn-based combat, which is more RPG, where this one is you actually get to control how you kick the crap out of people, which is great. Loved it. And you get a ton more money on this. I don't know, but like I wasn't killing him, I was knocking him out, and I was getting about 1 million yen for each one. I'm like, blooming heck, I'm racking money up really quickly.
Yeah.
But eventually you speak to this guy, and he opens up like your unlock system, and then you see some of those upgrades. You're like, blooming heck, I know where all this money's going to go.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, but yeah, eventually, after a load of fights, you get to the point where one of the lieutenants, the one that I don't like, released you from the clan. You meet the head of the clan, and then basically this lieutenant's been a bit shady, and the head of the clan gets him to cut his little finger off, which I think is
Fair.
just to show like a level of disgrace in that person, and for them to give some sort of blood sacrifice. But yeah, that's roughly where I'm up to. I've just been released from the clan, and we need to find a way to clear our name. But
Okay.
yeah, I have done the karaoke. I was terrible. Even my best friend would like ripping on me because I was that bad at karaoke. I mean, yeah, I am. I got the worst rating possible, but I knew I'd be bad because I'm not very good at rhythm-based games. So yeah, there is that. One thing I've noticed that, do you know when you're following somebody to somewhere, you've got to click, I think it's R2, and you'll follow along with them. I don't really like that. I'd rather do my own little exploring because it kind of like drags you into a certain direction. But that's just like a bit for me. And also everything's subbed, so there's nothing's dubbed. So you can't just kind of chill out and listen to the dialogue. You've got to be intently watching it, which is, I mean, in a way it's good because it forces you to kind of keep up with the story. But yeah, I'm not.
Is that because you just keep falling asleep?
Well, yeah.
Wait, so is in Yakuza Like a Dragon, is there like sense for dubbed?
Yeah. Yeah, so you can have it as Japanese or English. Yeah, I played it in English.
I could never do that. It just won't work. It just won't work for me.
I
seem right.
I don't care about the authenticity.
Well,
I care about the ease of the game. For me, anyway. I mean, I imagine there are, to be honest, playing it in English, there are some like dialogue points that sound a bit weird in English that might come through better in Japanese, but yeah. Anyway.
Oh, so you got to hear Kiryu's voice initially in English then?
Yeah.
How weird was it, like, once you got to hear like his, I suppose,
his normal voice?
Normal
yeah.
voice.
Yeah, I did think it was quite strange to begin with, but yeah.
I can imagine that.
I'm used to it now.
I can imagine like hearing anything coming out of Kiryu and then he's like normal voice, like.
But it was a bit jarring when I first heard it. I was like, this is not the guy I know, the guy that I didn't know from Like a Dragon. But no, it's good so far. I've spent way too much time in the arcades. I think I was telling you this yesterday that me and Lisa were playing it together. We spent about an hour in the arcades on the grabber machine just trying to get all the prizes, which were quite good. I don't know, it's just addicting. Just changing up the prizes, going to try and get which ones you can.
Just keep going up to the counter block and say, can you change the prizes?
Yeah, that's it. Like, I've done everything. Come on, let's get it filled back up.
Chop.
Yeah, and then I found one of these dirty cards in the corner of one of the arcades with a
wow.
Yeah, with a less than fully clothed lady. Well, you don't see anything obviously, but this is where it gives scantily dressed.
This is where it gives away it's a Japanese game, isn't it?
Yeah, just like strange things like that.
This is why it's rated 18.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, not just for the punching and whatnot. But yeah, I've been told that they'll come into play a little bit later, and there's a collector of sorts that will happily purchase the cards from you. So
Collector / pervert. But
yeah. I mean, I don't know why he can't just buy them himself.
In a back alley.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, just to add to the seediness of it. But,
the thing is, there are also other seedy things in the game.
I'm sure I'll get to that. But yeah, I just can't wait to play more of it, really, because I am enjoying it so far. I'm kind of getting used to the subs and the interactions between the characters, because it's done in more cutscenes than, well, obviously there's cutscenes in Like a Dragon, but it's kind of like, it's a bit less natural because it loads into it. And the saving system, that's one thing, because in Like a Dragon you can save it wherever you want. In Zero, you've got phone boxes, and I've been told that happens for most of the Yakuza games, so I'm going to have to get used to that one.
Yeah, I would say so it's in Zero Kiwami. Kiwami 2 is similar to Like a Dragon because it's on the Dragon engine. But then from 3 up until 5 is also the phone boxes. It's not until 6 that it's the first time it reversed to where you can save wherever you want. So
yeah. Oh, cool. But yeah, just cracking on with that, and yeah, I'll get through it, and then off to Kiwami after that, I think. But yeah, I'm sure as I keep playing through it, Kiryu's like lighter side will show itself.
I'll be interested once you get to chapter 3 what you'll think of the other protagonist.
Okay. Well, we'll see. We'll get to that bit. So, yeah, that's about it for Yakuza 0. So the next game that I've been playing is, to be honest, it's a game that I didn't think I'd buy, but I saw it for a deal. I couldn't pass it up. It's The Last of Us Part 1. That game, again, I had to give in and buy it.
Why?
Why?
Yeah.
Because I wanted it in the sweet PS5 graphics and stuff. Yeah.
But you've played it.
I know, and I'm playing it again.
Play again. Play the new games.
Nah, it's been that long that it's like playing it not for the first time, but it's like revisiting an old friend, I'd say.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm about an hour into that. We've just met Ellie. We've just found that instead of Joel and Tess not carrying cargo as such, it's taking a person to the Fireflies. So yeah, just getting into that side of it. It does look really good though. Like I've found myself just walking around and just like looking at things because it does look fantastic, to be fair to it. I mean, I know everyone had a outrage at the price, like 70 quid, like for a game that's been released twice before, but they have put a lot into it, I'd say. It is good. But yeah, just to kind of, yeah, hopefully this will reignite my want to watch the series, because I just got to the end of episode 4 and I've not really watched anything else. So I might try and play the game along with watching the series and do it that way. So
there's quite a few people I know that did that. They went through part 1 and they stop once it gets where the end of the episode stopped. So
yeah, I think I might do that, because I think if I do that, then I'll be able to kind of more see the similarities and differences between them, because it has been probably at this stage about 10 years since I played it originally. It's been a long time. So
it came out in 2013. So yeah, about 10
yeah,
years.
that's about right. So, but yeah, I'll get cracking on with that. And just another thing I want to mention. So last weekend I went to Comic-Con, but while we were there, I saw some gaming related people. So I just want to tell you about my experiences that I had. So the first person that I saw was Stephen Ogg, the person that plays Trevor in GTA 5. Now that was a hoot. He were in top form. He was fantastic. Basically, if people came in late, I don't want to swear, but he's like, "Oh, effing hell, you're late. Get up them stairs." And someone were leaving to go to another panel, and she nearly fell down the stairs, and he was just proper ribbing on her. They were fantastic. Like you could see his Trevor coming out. And it was just nice to listen to his experiences because it wasn't just about GTA 5. Obviously, he's been in The Walking Dead as well. So it was more about people asking questions about the industry, how he got into it and that kind of thing. And one of the things that we picked up on was he's actually not a gamer by any stretch. And he's never played GTA 5 before.
Wow.
So never even played the game that was part of. It did tell us about one experience he had at another con where basically someone had done a virtual reality version of Trevor and they got him to try it out. And basically he tried it for about 5 minutes, got dizzy and then said, oh, F this. And that's like the extent of GTA 5 that he's actually played.
Wow.
So, but yeah, he used to play like some Nintendo games when he was younger, like back in the 80s and stuff, but yeah, he's not really a gamer at all, and he was just given the opportunity. We're like, yeah, let's do it. So, yeah, that was cool. And then directly after that, went into the Red Dead Redemption panel, which was quite interesting. Like, I've not completed Red Dead, but we played it online with you guys. And it was nice to listen to him and how warm they felt towards the fan base. So there was the person that played Dutch and John Marsden. And then there were a few other people there, as well. But it was just nice because one thing that I got from them is that they really enjoyed like the stories about how the game had affected, other people and got them through dark situations. And like literally in that panel, there was every other person was dressed up like a cowboy in the audience. It was great. Well, yeah, what I got from them is like just such a warmth that they've got for the franchise, and they do want a third game, but obviously we'll see if that ever happens. Because they did talk about it, and they were like, right, well, where do we go? Because I think the Red Dead 2 is set in like the 20s, which kind of is like the very tail end of that way of life.
Red Dead 2 is a prequel.
No, I think it was still
It's
in
before
the 1800s, wasn't it? Towards the end of the 1800s.
Well, the first Red Dead's towards the tail end of
Oh, is it? Okay.
the Wild West.
Yeah, the first one was like
'Cause Red Dead 2 's
1917 or something like that.
Yeah. Well, they
Maybe
did.
earlier.
Yeah. Well, they did say the only way that they could kind of foresee another one is that if they did like a more of a prequel style with a brand new character set, because they feel that they told the story fully of the current characters. But,
yeah, you do kind of pigeonhole yourself with that kind of era.
But yeah, it was nice to just listen to their stories and of like them creating that and working on it together, which was nice. So yeah, but yeah, just a couple of stories there about Comic-Con. So yeah,
Lovely.
Awesome.
That's what I've been playing and listening to and watching.
Well, speaking of watching, shall we discuss the thing we went and did yesterday?
Yes, let's discuss.
Apart from the drinking.
Oh,
We also-
we were just doing more drinking.
We also went to watch the Super Mario Brothers film.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm.
What's your thoughts on that then?
I really enjoyed it. I think we could all say it was definitely better than the first Super Mario Brothers film.
Whoa,
That doesn't take much, but but yeah.
Mm.
A lot of references and Easter eggs in there, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Plot a bit thin.
Yeah.
I wouldn't really expect a major
You're gonna have
plot
like a
from a
deep-
Mario
Yeah.
film. Anyway,
full complex plot.
I didn't think he was, because this was made by Illumination. Obviously, did
Yeah.
the Minion films and all that, and Despicable Me and that. I didn't think he was as funny as them, but it had its moments.
Yeah, they had the humour in there. Especially with Lumily. That little flame star thing. That was hilarious. My favourite character personally.
Speaks the truth.
That's it. We're all doomed. Wait for the sweet release of death.
I have to say, star of the show is going to be Jack Black, though, isn't it? I think.
Oh yeah.
As Bowser.
Oh yeah, easy.
Stole the show. He was really good.
Yeah, enjoyed his performance as Bowser.
Yeah. And his musical numbers.
Mm.
Preachers, 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 preachers. So, let's get the elephant. No, that's wrong. Elephant in the room. Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. Chris Pratt as Mario. What do we think?
Better than I thought he was going to be.
Thought he did a good job.
I had my doubts when I saw the first trailer, but
Yeah.
you just settle into it, and I think he did a good job.
This is exactly what I thought. I thought, right, okay, for the first 5 minutes you're going to be like, what? And then you're just going to completely forget about it for the rest of the film. And that's exactly what happened.
That was it, wasn't it? It was like, you could tell he's putting on a bit of a voice. Like, it wasn't just straight Chris Pratt.
I do love the way they got around the whole voice thing, though. Like, pretending for an advert at the start.
Yeah, so they started the film off with like they filmed like an advert for the Mario Brothers, and I'm pretty convinced that like I don't know.
Do you think that was added afterwards?
Maybe, yeah. There's like a cover. Like, oh, I'm gonna put this in. I feel like for that part, I think the original Mario voice actor probably did that bit.
Yeah, I would imagine.
It sounded pretty close to like Mario in the games, and then they were like, "Oh yeah," and like that was a pretty good voice that you put on there.
I was looking at some Easter eggs afterwards, and he played the bloke, you know, because they were doing that cafe, aren't they, at the beginning?
Yeah.
And the bloke who does voice as Mario is the bloke on the arcade machine.
Yeah, he's the one who's dressed up like classic Mario. He looks like classic Mario.
And he's playing Jumpman.
Yeah, he's playing Jumpman. But he also voices Mario's dad in the film as well.
Yes, he does. Yeah.
Which is the part where I was like, I wonder if they've given this part because I've never heard him without the Mario voice, so I could never tell like what he actually sounds like.
Yeah.
So, but that's good. That was nice that they gave him like a pretty decent part of the film.
Yeah. Substantial bits. Yeah.
Mm.
I thought Charlie Day was good as Luigi.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good.
Toad didn't get as much airtime as I thought it would. Airtime? Make it sound like radio. Screen time.
Screen time. Yeah, I think I like Toad. I don't know if I'd want him too much. Well, I thought he played pretty well. So Princess Peach as well. I think.
Yeah,
was it? Yeah, she did pretty good. I liked the challenge.
A very badass.
I think that's good though, isn't it?
It's
good that, like they flipped on his head. Oh, we're not needing to save Peach. She can save herself, pretty much.
Yeah.
What about Donkey Kong?
Yeah, I think Seth Rogen did a great job with Donkey Kong. Thought it was hilarious. I just love the peck dance.
Good music in there as well.
I did like that they had like the DK rap in there. Oh, the slight criticism there in the credits that the original composer doesn't get anything about it. What's that about?
Yeah.
It's like the only omission in the music credits.
Yeah, that was.
Like, we don't know who made this. It was from Donkey Kong 64.
Plenty of licensed music in there as well. Which I don't know if they. Some moments it worked, other times I don't think it did. It's like Take On Me. I don't understand that.
Yeah, I thought that was a bit of a strange for the little cart section.
Just Nintendo throwing the money around. So, I'll have that track.
We don't know what else to put in here. We'll just throw in there.
Yeah. That's it. Animation I thought was beautiful.
I liked all the little different set pieces they did. Like the wedding section, when Peach is like flying all the enemies back in Bowser. I thought that was pretty good.
I just really liked the simple graphics of it. It's like, I just always noticed like the individual stitches and things on Mario's hat. You could really see it. It just looked wonderful.
Yeah, you can tell they put a lot of love into it.
Oh, I should say we went to see this on the IMAX as well, so we got a massive huge screen.
Yeah.
to every fibre of Mario's moustache.
Oh, Luigi.
And yeah, Luigi's when it gets pulled.
Yeah, I felt that. But where do we think it stands in the pantheon of video game films then?
I'd say it's comfortably in the top 10. I mean, that's not saying much, but...
Yeah. I thought it was fine. I didn't think it was great, but it was fine. But that's mainly down to plot. But I don't think you can really do much with plot in a Mario film, really. But I do like the fact that it was relatively short, like an hour and a half, snappy.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, 90 minutes.
Yeah, there's no real fluff.
Yeah.
Filler pieces, were they? So they just got straight to the point.
I mean, it was full of Easter eggs, and well, it's very apt for when it's released, isn't it? Yeah.
I liked it at the end when Mario and Luigi worked together, because I think they could have more focused on Mario, like saving everybody.
Yeah, they could have. Yeah.
But it was good that they focused on, well, obviously the brothers. So.
Yeah, I did like all the different references to the different games and stuff, because I feel like that end part when they're holding hands and running through, I think that's from like one of the RPG games on DS, I think. So that was cool.
Oh, and then when Mario gets validation from his dad, I thought that was nice as well, because he wasn't too nice to him at the start of the film, not believing in his dream. But saying that, when they were all eating around the dinner table, the pasta did look pretty tasty. Even though he doesn't like mushrooms, but we can forgive him for that.
Yeah, I like that little detail that he doesn't like mushrooms. Like all the power-ups are like mushrooms.
Yeah.
Why does it always have to be mushrooms? I can relate. I don't like mushrooms either, so.
No, I don't even.
Actually, I do want to pick up on one inaccuracy.
Oh, here we go.
With him punching the brick rather than headbutting it.
Yeah.
No,
yeah.
What was going on there?
I was validated for that.
Nah.
I remember when they first did it, you seen the Toads do it, and they all like said, like, look, see, they punch him.
It's like, nah, they're gonna.
You're like, no, Mario headbutts. No, everyone punches them.
Nah.
Punching.
I agree, Dave. Inaccuracy.
Yeah. Thanks, Mark. Thanks.
They're all wrong.
But no, I thought it was fine.
I think I would have it in top 5 video game films. Just because it's such a low bar. Well, it's such a low bar.
Yeah.
Like, I would probably have... I mean, the Sonic films are going to be up there.
Yeah. Detective Pikachu.
Pikachu, yeah. Do
you know what? I really like the original Mortal Kombat film. I used to watch that all the time.
Like maybe the original Mortal Kombat as well. Are probably up there, even though like they're camp.
Did you ever watch the last Mortal Kombat film?
The most recent one?
Yeah, the one from a couple of years ago.
No, I've not seen that one.
No. It's not very good.
That's what I mean. Like,
yeah.
You can pick them all apart. You know, Prince of Persia wasn't that good. Assassin's Creed wasn't that good. I don't know what happened with The Rock's Rampage, whether that was good or not.
That was okay. But,
you know,
if it's got The Rock in it, you know where it's going to go. It's just going to be action set piece. Which is pretty
and then,
much
you know, he's doing what, the new Call of Duty film.
Yeah. Whatever that is. Generic war shooty.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not high bar to get to, is it? Really?
Do you know what gaming film I really enjoyed? Pixels. I liked that one. I know it's not based on a video game.
Slaughtered.
I liked it. Especially when the creator of Pac-Man got his hand bit off by Pac-Man.
Yeah.
Because he's like, my sweet boy, and then he's like, kill this thing! When he gets his hand bit off.
Honestly can't stand Adam Sandler films. His early stuff, I'll give him, is funny.
I was going to say, what about Happy Gilmore?
I enjoy Happy Gilmore. I liked Waterboy. What's that one that he's looking after a kid? I forget that one. He's looking after a child.
Daddy? Maybe not Big Daddy.
But I like that. But then, like, some of his later stuff. Like, I watched
Yeah, it's Big Daddy.
I mean, I'm going off topic here very largely, but I watched, was it Murder Mystery on Netflix?
Is it a comedy?
It's meant to be a comedy with
I think he's better in
Jennifer Aniston.
I think he's better when he's got his serious roles.
Didn't he play a fairly serious role? It's like
asleep.
Pawnbroker or something, and it were quite good.
Uncut Gems.
Maybe.
Uncut Gems, is it? Maybe it's one of those things like maybe I need to watch some of his more serious stuff. I feel like his later comedy is like really dropped off.
I think it all follows a similar formula though. His more recent stuff.
Little Nicky as well. That's one, isn't it? Or one of his earlier ones.
Anyway.
Well,
yeah,
that
concludes the Adam Sandler segment.
Probably in my mind, probably the best video game related film is Free Guy.
Ooh, you think?
Yeah, I absolutely loved it. I thought Free Guy was brilliant to me.
I liked it as well. I think I watched it 3 times in cinema.
I've seen it twice in cinema.
Once was enough for me.
You don't like it?
I'm not saying it. No, I'm not saying it was bad, but I didn't think it was that good.
I think what made it good was all the pop culture additions it had. I think
the story is like pretty good for a video game film.
Well, there you go. So if you enjoyed listening to us, please consider tuning in next time. We release bi-weekly on Tuesdays. You can visit our website at jokingdolphin.com, where we post the Hall of Fame. Also, feel free to follow us on all social media platforms to continue the conversation. You can find Joking Dolphin on YouTube and Facebook, as well as on Instagram and Twitter at Joking Dolphin. Until next time, thanks for listening. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
See ya.